Yo, what's going on, Lazy A crew? Back with something special today. One of the new anime that just came out. Here with Jody and Aaron. You guys say what's up?
Wipe your shoes when you step in the house. Somebody just cleaned that floor. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ah, yup.
All right, so Aaron, what we taking a look at today, man?
We're going to be going over Sword of the Demon Hunter Kijin Gentōshō.
No,
Basically,
you
Demon
had it
Slayer.
right the first time. You had it right. The first
It's
Demon
it's
Slayer
literally
Lite,
that.
Demon Slayer Junior.
It's definitely Demon Slayer Lite. It's about two kids get picked up. One of them's like Jinta, the other one's Suzune. She's got like this real fucked up eye. Nice. It definitely tells you everything you need to know about the series right there. They get taken to this fucking village. I literally can't. It's literally Demon Slayer plot word for word, bar for bar.
Yeah. No, not really, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Talking about Jinta, the main character. How do you feel about him so far as the main character?
Pretty standard. I wouldn't say like he's like standoutish. He doesn't seem like a crazy like nice guy. He doesn't seem like this cool wannabe hard. Like he just seems like a normal like he's just a normal guy. Just in a world where people have swords and shit. You know, he's just trying to live and he's chilling. You know,
Right.
He's
Doesn't
kind of
strike you
bland.
Anything stick out to him? Okay, I was just about to ask you about that. Anything?
Bland is normal, right? I think that's it. You know?
Yeah.
He just wants to do what's best for his sister. He got a job. He does his job. You know, he's just a normal guy.
Anything to add to that, Jody?
I can't really say much about him because even though he's the main character, the only thing I know is that he's just got that heroic thing to him, right? You know, he's just trying to do the right thing. No, I haven't seen enough of him to kind of like really say much about him. The only thing I know is that homeboy, is he a demon now? Because like he becomes a demon, and like will that affect his mood? Because before he was bland, but then like
Yeah.
later on in the episode, because I think only one episode came out, right? And correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know
Yeah.
if the demon
Yeah.
exactly changed his behavior. I think
Well, hold
moving a
on,
little too
because
far
let's hold
ahead,
on to that.
but-
Let's hold on to that because that's a good point. I want to revisit that. The early plot, guys. Like, how do we feel about, the whole they ran away. They ran away from the early village because spoiler alert, demon is a half demon. So there's like the Nezuko equivalent, right? But she's like more controlled. She's got the eye. So tell me how you guys feel about that early plot, them kind of transitioning, and I guess that the pacing and how it was from them as kids to where they developed
So
kind of mid episode.
my question is, how are demons made? Like, did their piece of shit dad clap some demon cheeks, and then now they like half breed, or like do they become demons through birth? Because like that's one thing that kind of like I was wondering about the whole time. I'm like, because all you hear from their dad in the beginning is, "You were a mistake." And I'm like, okay, like what happened there though? Like, how are demons formed? Do they form through? Because like, in other series, they're formed like after death, after like regret or some malice happen, right? We hear like what causes them to be born? Because obviously, like they like demons in this anime, they want to live long, like they want to live long lives too. But like that's always one of my things throughout the whole, like that question just bugged me throughout the whole episode. Like, how are
Yeah.
they made? So I guess I didn't see enough for the first episode to really
Yeah.
understand.
Because it was definitely implied. I mean, because kind of just throughout the entirety, right? Especially as you kind of progress through the episode, it's kind of implied that they're not directly related. She's more like like I wouldn't be surprised if they're not blood relatives. Actually, I'd be willing to put some money that they're not blood relatives. Excuse me. Especially seeing as she developed feelings for dude, which was kind of all right. You know what I mean?
I think she was just she's just a very young kid in the mind, you know, and she just really loved her brother. I don't think
No.
it was like, I don't think it was emotional, like romantic.
No,
it was
no,
romantic.
She's old.
That's how she turned
was
evil.
It was romantic. Yeah, the only reason why she didn't like slaughter, like, I'm pretty sure Shiryuki or some shit like that. But the only reason
Something
why she
like
didn't kill
that.
her first, earlier, is because she was like, all right, you know, my brother, quote unquote, you know, loves him or loves her, so I'm gonna allow her to get close to him for the sake of him because I love him. That's like her whole thought, like thinking process. On top of
it
she's
was really,
she's
so to answer you, so to kind of say what we're to kind of go deeper into it, Jody. Basically, the turning moment that really gave like some hard confirmation that she actually was like in love with him was, and this is kind of was like what kind of opened my eyes. Oh, they're not true siblings. Was there was an evil demon that came to her, and she said, and she was kind of like playing on her emotions. And she said, my brother, she was like, yes, he's my everything. She says, okay, you're a true young woman at heart. And she has like a surprised look, like, oh, you love this dude. And then when she was emoting to the princess for, in what she perceived as her having an affair with the other guy, she was like, I put my love for him on the back burner. I played the role as his little sister so that he could love you. But I loved him. I loved him, and I put that on the back burner because I know that he loved you. That was that whole theme, and that's how they got her to turn. Because what she did was she suppressed her romantic feelings for dude, and then she basically friend zoned herself. Essentially, she sister zoned herself.
I'll be
And
honest
then-
with you, it sounds more like clingy, like Sibling, if anything,
hell
to
no.
me, because one thing, like, here's the thing, y'all have siblings,
Yeah.
Yup.
and like, you know, like when shit hits the fan, and I'm not saying this happens to a lot of families, but like when shit hits the fan, when it comes to parents, you know, like the siblings protect each other, and the little Suzune, she was pretty much thrown outside, and I just find it more of a very like attached young sister kind of thing, because I don't think she
I mean,
can be around him because she never aged, right?
No, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Like your point has credence if that point right there that you just touched on hadn't been made. She kept herself from aging to play the role as his little sister. She said that when she was monologuing. She's
When
like,
she say
I
that?
purposely did not age. Yeah, she was like, I
She
purposely
said it.
did not
Yeah.
age myself. So I purposely did not age myself
To keep that
so
little
that
sister,
I could be
like, a look
so
or
that
whatever.
I could be your little, so I could be his little sister, so that you could be the love interest because he loved you, because I know the feelings that he had for you. That wasn't that she like purposely did that. But then when she found down, then when she was kind of manipulated and she saw her about to be intimate with the other dude, she's like, to hell with it all. Like, I'm gonna just go ahead and age up so I can be with him.
Okay.
If she had stayed younger, then I'm going with you. Like, if she had stayed like little sister and it was like just some like, no, my big brother, like my big brother's attention is only for me, and that's it. And she just stayed younger, and that whole like point of her not aging, I'd have been right where you are, square, like dead square and center. It had just been like an obsessive sibling.
Yeah, I mean, he sees her as a sister, but she does not have the same feelings towards him. Definitely a bit more romantical.
Sure. Go ahead.
So we mentioned like Demon Slayer. Like, what are like some differences as you guys kind of saw? Because to me, this is not Demon Slayer. Like, to me, this is, you guys know how like they have Justice League and then they have the boys. Like, the boys is like if Justice League was like evil, or like
Yeah.
if Homelander was evil, like if Homelander was a dickhead. This is literally, to me, like someone's take on if Nezuko turned out like if the sibling, quote unquote, just went south.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what this is. It's just if Nezuko went down a different path, instead of like becoming a demon and controlling herself, she decided, I don't know, like she killed the rest of the family. So that's honestly the main difference. I do think like Tanjiro is like a genuine nice guy and he wants to save people, whatever. Jinta, I don't think that at all. I think he wanted to do his job, wanted to do his duty, and that was it. Like he didn't really like have any aspirations to be fucking a hero or anything like that. Outside of that, I mean, their world is exactly the same. And then going back to what you guys were talking about with demons, normally, as far as I know, like in literature, there's like 2 different kinds of demons. There's like demons that you can akin to like vampires, where you get infected, you get bit, whatever, your blood mixes in somehow, their blood gets in you, then you turn, right? That's like Demon Slayer. And then like the spiritual stuff that Jody was talking about, that's more like Demon Slayer, not Demon Slayer, JJK, where like grudges, hatred, whatever can take like this spiritual, ethereal form and then manifest into something else, right? This is the vampire shit, right? This is the Demon Slayer, not JJK kind of demons.
I would say worst battle segments. I like the plot a little bit more, just because I want to see what Jinta does when he has to fight Suzune.
He should hopefully kill her.
No, indeed, that's definitely gonna be.
I mean, there's really not much I can say about it. Like, for a first episode, there's just too many questions for me. Going back, like, how are demons created? Like, what is their purpose? Because apparently they have a purpose. Is Homeboy a demon now? Was he gonna get taken over by his demon side?
Have y'all ever watched Claymore? I think this is closer to that.
Yeah.
I think this is closer to that. What was her face? Like her whole plot was like chasing after a person who was like her friend who like killed like her mentor or some shit like that.
Talking about the short hair blonde chick?
Yes, her.
I forgot her name,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, when I think about Claymore, there's like this it's literally a much more adapted version of Claymore. They're part demon, part yokai or whatever. And there's a lot of similarities like overlapping with this.
What were you about to say, Jody?
I'm trying to see the similarities, because like Claymore, I remember the demon, the half breeds were man made, right?
Some were yes, some were not.
Right, and then like each of them had like little powers here and there. I don't really see the similarities. So are you talking about like as far as
take
plot?
the half breed, you compare it to fucking Jinta, right? So they're both half demon for whatever reason, and their whole plot is chasing after someone who killed all their loved ones, even though that they were once on the same side and they were both like, you know, friendly, cool, whatever, siblings type shit. So the whole plot is revenge. The whole plot is them being half demons and then plotting for revenge against someone who killed their families.
I get it. I would say that's a pretty like surface level, like almost genre kind of frame to look at it though.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly what the Sword of the Demon is. I think it's just textbook this genre of demon slaying or whatever during the Edo period, swords and shit. It's not very like standoutish. It's very like genre standard. Because at least with
Gotcha.
like going back to Demon Slayer, at least with Demon Slayer, fights were amazing. The animations were amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
breathtaking.
Hold that thought. Christian battle segment. Jody, you said something about the battle segments. Aaron, you said something about the battle segments. Let's talk about that. Tell me how you guys felt about the battle scene.
I don't know. It was just like, there's the slash. He cuts
It
his
wasn't-
arm.
It wasn't even a battle. Like, it was like the nigga was crying, emotional, just kind of like swinging his sword. Like, he didn't get into his like martial art bag at all. He didn't get a chance to.
Are you talking about?
I don't know.
Are you talking about when he fought Suzune or when he fought the first demon?
Fought Suzune. I mean, we didn't even really watch the first demon. That basically just, you know, they clashed a couple times. The series like panned over a scene, and then the nigga was dead. Like it wasn't much of a fight either. There was very little fighting in this entire anime.
Like, he stabbed him in his heart. I assume that was where his heart, and then he died. Or I think he died.
That ain't no battle. that's like a pan. That's like between like two different like screens or scenes or whatever. There wasn't really like a whole lot of fighting in this anime.
Which is crazy because the animation is awesome. Like, I love the animation in this. It's beautiful. It's very smooth. You know, you don't see jankiness. So I really like. And I'm just gonna say now, this is not a bad anime. Like, I'm gonna watch this anime. I'm interested in seeing like how the story progresses. But I really hope they bring up the battles a little bit more. And maybe it's just not fair for me to say that because the bar's been set for me by Demon Slayer, right? So I guess when you're exposed to battles from that anime or Jujutsu Kaisen, like these small little quarrels here and there just don't seem like, you know what I mean? So the battle segments here, I really hope they do more from that, and I want them to. I would like to see like more unique demon powers being used. Because Homeboy in the beginning, dude was just a bruiser, he said he could eat demons and gain their power. Homeboy just turned into Luffy and made a bigger arm. So I would like to see way more demon powers be used. That would probably give battle segments more flavor, in my opinion.
Yeah. For me, when the fight began, that brought a couple questions into mind for me. Because just kind of to reiterate what Jody said, the animation was very, especially when they were talking in that field of flowers near that river. When they had spent the day with each other, I believe, or when they made that initial promise when they were kids. I forgot which scene it was. And they had like the pink flowers just kind of around them. The animation was very beautiful. The animation was very beautiful when it wanted to portray a certain type of emotion. So to me, and it dropped off like very harshly when that fight began. Like I almost thought I was looking at like a paper version of Jinta fighting dude. So for me, two questions I had, that came to mind were, did they not have budget? One, or did they do that purposefully because they want a majority of the attention on the emotionality of the story going forward, and they don't really want it to be, a super shonen type battle anime, and they really want you to focus on the emotional turmoil that the character's gonna go through, and the character progression and just the overall story? Or is it just that they didn't have the budget to do what they want? Because really there were a lot of plot holes, in my opinion, from this that were kind of left open in this hour-long episode, because it seemed like this could have been legitimately like a 4 or 5 episode stretch, to where they build up these characters and then they hit that climax and that serious tragic turn, because that 1 hour episode ended up being a tragic story.
I don't think there's enough content within that 1 hour to stretch it 4 episodes. I think people drop off.
Well, I think that's the issue. I think that's where a lot of the plot holes come. If they stretched it 4 episodes, we could have got the answer to what Jody was saying. Hey, like what's going on here? Like, how are the demons created? We could have got a little bit more into how the fights usually look, because right now he just looked like a normal dude.
Normal dude with a sword swinging it. Honestly.
Yeah, like more normal
Just
than
pissed.
the guys in Demon Slayer. Like it's not like he had a breathing technique. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So there could have been more. But then the demon reference. Okay, how did you attain this power? Nigga, what power? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, so there's a lot. Go ahead.
He does.
I mean, I think that's just the world.
Yeah, like it's like so like. Hey, he's stupid.
It's all about y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
You
We could have got more than the last fire goddess died and dude sacrifices. Like they did that in the throwaway line. They said that in the throwaway line. If you weren't paying attention, you were like, okay, how did she become this? And what happened to her mom and dude that took him in? That was literally put in a throwaway line. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if there's definitely, in my opinion, enough there for them to. Not even enough. You're right. There wasn't enough there for them to stretch that into 4 episodes, and I think that's the issue, because it's almost like the writer knew what they wanted to do with the story, but they didn't have enough to expand upon what they wanted to accurately depict what they wanted to do with the story. Does that make sense from my perspective?
No, I guess I can agree with that.
It just sucks because this anime has potential, but I know I can see it being like something that's probably just gonna have like a couple episodes and then that's it.
I mean, I think it's
They're
gonna
not
be
gonna
like a
finish
couple
it.
good episodes, and then I think it's gonna be mid for like 10 of them.
I'm hoping it's that first thing to where it's not a budget issue and they only did the battle like that because they want you to focus on everything else, because then that would lead to it being, it would make more sense for it being a longer running series, because then it's like it's like a choice versus it's a budget issue. Because I really like the story. I really like what could become of the story. Like, this is a very interesting plot. I'm hoping episode 2 wasn't something like 30 years later. You know what I'm saying? And
Nice
he's
little
still
time
the
skip.
same age, and his demon powers kept him the same age, but you know, and he's already really halfway through the hero's journey, and we can tell it's gonna end in like 6 or 8 episodes.
Shit, it's 170 years later, ain't it?
That's what the
That's what the ending was. Cause was that him, or was that probably somebody?
no. So the demon chick that did all the manipulating, she could see 170 years into the future. So that's where that number came from. So that either set the stage for the whole story to happen within 170 years, and we're gonna get a
No.
time skip, or it's like, but
In the end of the episode, like, remember that it showed like that girl in a shrine, and then she was talking about the swordsman that came up, and then she talks about what he went through in the last 170 years.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought that was hinting on like it time skipped Jinta to 170 years, because apparently he's demon now, right, or something like that. So I don't know, that part confused me.
Yeah.
Does anybody kind of know what's up with that, or
I'm not sure. It's another plot hole, in my opinion. Like I said, unless they just freaking time skipped it to where this is gonna be the end, because it's hinted at, you know, that the sister, that's not the sister anymore. She's a full-fledged demon. She's like supposed to be like the god of all demons or some shit like that. So I guess that's gonna be around the time where she's really gonna be making her move.
Can we talk about how like she existed in that village and didn't age, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah.
I think
Like, no,
I think
It's
they
like, again, that's another plot hole. Yeah.
I think they knew that she was a demon. But apparently they're okay
Nah.
with demons, because that one
It's
dude was like talking to, what's her name? He was talking to Jinta after the whole tragedy happened. It's like, well, you're a demon now, son. Good luck. You know, he just said it so casually, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, you know, they're
Yeah,
cool with
like,
it.
yeah, and again, that just seemed like it was, again, that's another thing that just seemed like it was either lazy or they were forced to make that decision because they were running out of time.
First of all, fuck
Like-
that old man, dude. It's his fucking fault. Fuck that old ass piece of shit, bro. That motherfucker gets on. It's my fault. I pushed for the marriage because I want to see my son happy. Fuck the whole village. Like, bro. He caused
Definitely
all
fucked
that
the village, all right.
shit. Yeah, he caused it all.
All right, guys. Any guesses for the future?
No,
Chris,
I'm
I
kind
don't
of I'm kind of just confused. Like, I want to know. I'll probably say more about it after the second episode. I need to see where the story is, or like maybe this is like kind of like a prequel to the actual like story happening, like kind of like an introduction, and it actually takes place 170 years in the future, and then what's her name, Suzune's like done so much, and now there's like old legions of demons happening there, and I don't know, there's just so much, there's so much left to really like think about. But I think they did a decent job at like keeping me entertained and keeping me wanting to like, oh, I'll watch another episode, you know. So I'm not if the first episode sucked, I'm like, yeah, fuck, I don't care about the answers, dog. You can have them. But I'm like, okay, you know, I want to see where this goes. So I'm cool with like the plot holes right now, because hopefully they will patch them up later. So I think it'll do fine. I don't think it's going to stand out. I think this anime is going to do fine, and if anything, like best case scenario, is going to have a cult classic like Classroom of the Elite or No Game No Life.
you just feel the need to mention that damn Classroom anime every single time, huh? Just
I don't want to hear anything about you mentioning anime after you committed the great sin. I'm never letting you forget that bull crap. For anybody that wants to know what the great sin is, go on our page. Go on our page and look for that Gundam episode.
Bro.
It's like called Gundam Requiem of Vengeance or some crazy something
Oh my
stupid like that. But go ahead. What's your go ahead, Aaron?
Nothing, bro.
Like, comment, and subscribe for the great sin. Go ahead and share.
Yeah, man, my fault.
Any yeses for the future about this anime, dog?
I mean, I think they had the budget. Animation looks like all right, clear. It didn't look like the characters are like well drawn, well animated. So it doesn't look like they have any budget issues. They just, I just need to see some good fights. I just need to see some hands being thrown, right? It's just. I mean, yeah, that's all I really need to see. I hope it's not like choppy, fucking like 2-frame, just fucking swinging and shit. Hopefully it doesn't do that. But I think that right there will make or break the anime. Because now that this anime is going to be compared to Demon Slayer left and right, it has to overperform to stand out. It has to.
Yeah. So
I'd say it's a. Me personally, I think the plot is really good. I think as many plot holes as there were, I think that they have a solid foundation for me personally to overlook a lot of that stuff, even though it would be sitting in the back of my head. I think it's an anime that you should at least, give like the first 3 or 4 episodes a try. Right? It doesn't seem bad. I definitely, especially if you like literature, I like the turning point. It's kind of messed up. And I think this is going to be a story of like a tragic hero. He lost his loved one. He's going to have to, defeat his other loved one. And, on her side, it was a tragic turn for her. You know what I'm saying? So, I think definitely give this anime a try. What do you guys feel?
Yeah, I think you should watch it if you want to watch, something while you're passing the time or on a flight. I don't think you should watch it if you're a big action oriented person, like if you're looking for fights for Jujutsu Kaisen or like things you would see in Demon Slayer, this is probably not going to be it for you. This is probably more so like on a slower side, something to kind of relax, get some tea and just watch. If you have nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, then yeah, watch it. But I really can't promise you that it's very fast or whatever. It's kind of a slow anime. I'll put it that way.
If you don't watch it with most of your full attention, I think you miss too many vital details. I think it's worth sitting down and watching for an hour, the first episode, and then decide whether you'll continue off of that. Because I don't think it's gonna be too much more different than what you see up front.
All right, so I think that's a consensus. Everybody should give it a try, unless you're a super battle shonen junkie. But even then, if you want to branch out, give it a peep. But that's it. You guys got anything to say?
The soundtrack, the sound design was pretty good. I will say that the sound design was really well done. Except the song at the end. I wasn't a fan of that. It just did not fit the vibe for me. Because it was like it sounded too modern. Because it's like, this is a Edo Japan period anime, and the soundtrack at the end kind of like threw me for a loop. Other than that, the animation is beautiful, man. It's very crispy. It's it has some very lovely visuals. Like the one where like he's like right next to a tree and Suzune is stabbing the dead body of his lover, which sounds grotesque, but the scene was actually kind of well done, so it has potential. I give this out of 10. I give this a 7.
Yo, what's good, guys? So gonna go ahead and revisit this part, Demon Slayer Lite, just because I wanted to kind of make a correction. So basically, I went back and I rewatched like the latter half of that first episode. Basically, the original stance that Aaron and I had for Jody was that there was like some underlying extra level of affection. Basically, like the demon little sister actually like loved the brother. And Jody's stance was, no, this is more like and you can correct me if I'm misphrasing or not representing what your point was. It's more like a yandere sister type situation.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, but I think because I revisited it also, and I can kind of see it in both ways. Like, okay, that makes sense. Because you were right. Like, there was this you said that I forgot the princess lady, or she said that you loved him too, didn't you? And that's, I guess I missed that part. But I think you can see it in both ways. But I think I would agree with you and Aaron's stance on, yeah, okay, this was probably more than just brotherly love. It's probably like something there, because we don't really know the history of these two people or these two kids. You know, are they from the same parent, etc. Like I said, for me, it just looked like an attached yandere kind of sister thing. Like don't take him away from me. He's the only thing I have to live for, because he literally is the only reason why I'm still alive, kind of thing. But maybe it went into farther things, because like I said, we don't know the history of these two kids, whether they're really like brother and sister by family, and who knows if that was even a thing back, because this is the Edo Japan anime, right? So who knows? Maybe the times were different back then. Who knows?
That's actually interesting, because upon me going back and looking at it, I saw it more from your original viewpoint. I actually felt like I saw a little bit less evidence to support what Aaron and I were saying. Not that we were debating or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, I kind of actually saw it a little bit more from your perspective. I guess the only thing that would kind of throw me off, because the theme of like love is like all over the place between that dynamic and those three characters, meaning Jinta, the little sister, and the actual the other little sister that became the sun god princess lady or whatever, because they were siblings, but not necessarily like by blood, right? They were adopted, and they still ended up having feelings for each other. So I guess more clarification to me would be like, and this will probably get expanded upon in later episodes, maybe not, if Jinta and his little sister are actually blood related, or if they're not blood related. If they're not blood related, then I probably lean towards the fact that she probably had underlying, like actual love feelings for him. If they are, then I'm leaning more towards like the yandere, sister type vibe. But it's pretty ambiguous. They definitely I feel like it was definitely left a little ambiguous.
Yeah, and like we said, there's not much to go on off of these characters, like they're just literally thrown at us like, oh, these two kids, they came from the same household. Oh, they ran away together. Once again, this is a different type of time period, so who knows what was off limits or on limits back then. I haven't studied up on Edo Japan stuff or anything, so I can't tell you what was normal, what wasn't.
Yeah, I just really wanted to revisit it, because like I said, when the initial points were made, it was like Aaron and I were like, no, this is this, but I wanted to reopen the conversation and kind of address it from a different angle, and kind of try and see it from like your viewpoint and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Well, you hurt my feelings that day.
No, I didn't, but I'm sorry. All right.
Powerful.
Well, guys, if you like this episode, if you enjoyed this anime, and feel free to give us any anime recommendations. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And please, for the love of everything that is decent, please tell Aaron he committed a great sin in the comments. I don't want to react to something like that ever again. All right, guys, you have a great one, and Lazy A out.
What's up, anime lovers? Welcome back to Lazy A Podcast, where we talk all things anime, hot takes, epic fights, and those tear-jerking moments that hit you right in the feels. I'm Dre, that's Aaron, and that's Jody.
Howdy. Y'all already know I'm here to drop some knowledge on the goats of anime, old and new. If y'all want to debate me, let me know. Run it. I win those every single time.
What's up, Lazy Gang? If you're here, you already know the vibes. Anime discussions, top tier breakdowns, and of course, some shit that I might say that might get me canceled, but hey, shit, let's go.
All right, now listen up, squad. We have a mission. We've been grinding, putting out content, breaking down fights, ranking OP characters, bringing you guys the best anime content possible. And now, we're setting a goal.
That is correct. We're aiming for 500 subscribers, and we need y'all to help us get there.
That means like, comment, and if you haven't already, man, hit that subscribe button. Let's make this the most hyped anime community on YouTube.
Every sub gets us closer to bigger content, more deep dives, collabs, giveaways, all that good stuff. So if you love anime as much as we do, let's smash that goal.
And don't forget to drop a comment. You know, what anime should we cover next? Name your topic. We'll try to get a video out on it. Let us know in the comments.
All right, Lazy Gang, that's it for now. And, thank you to those who are already subscribing through. But we'll be back with more anime madness. So until next time, stay hype, stay anime, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Let's go! Road to 500 subs, here we come.